Hey everybody, Kent Martz here. Thanks for joining us today on our 1:30 broadcast in advance of our Amazon Live broadcast at 2. We've got a bunch of people watching out here. Thank you for joining us. Today's Friday and it's going to be focus on astrophotography. Paul's over there on the invisible mic. He's the disembodied voice. It's going to give us shout outs. Who do we have with us this morning? Somewhere not here because it's afternoon. Who we got, Paul?
Nobody yet.
You said there's people watching. Give us some shout-outs.
Yeah, it says there's 10 people watching.
Dozen people
5
watching.
people on YouTube.
So give us some shout-outs so we can give a shout-out back to you. We appreciate you watching today. Going to be focused on astrophotography. We're going to start out with the IXOS 100.
So I've got sound effects now.
Yeah, so...
Objection, Your Honor.
I didn't hear anything.
Right, and you can't, and that's the point.
That's a blessing for me, I suspect. So,
Chris
anyway.
Larson says hello.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Ken N.
Ken N.
Says, I'm here. Richard Lighthill.
Richard
says
Lighthill.
He is watching. Tariq Alhamari.
Yeah, Tariq. He's in the UAE.
Yeah, Bopas Travels. Hello.
Anybody else?
Yeah, tons. Chris Larson, he says he's in Northern California.
Yep.
David Samard.
David should be getting, I believe, an ED80 here in the mail.
Now you've just told all the Amazon snipers to go look at his house.
Yeah, but we're not on Amazon, so.
You know, people who are like, oh, look, they're getting
Porch pirates, you mean?
Porch pirates.
Oh, they're looking at his house anyway, probably. I mean, they don't. I don't think they watch Explore Scientific Live to pick their targets on any given day. So anyway,
no, I mean it's Richard Lighthill, Tariq, David Smart. So yeah.
All right. So
Tariq says, "What is focused on astrophotography? Like which scope or which camera?"
So Focus on Astrophotography is a program that Tyler runs at 4:00 every day. Most Fridays. Don't know if he has a show today or not. I haven't heard him talking about it.
He's washing windows right now.
He literally is washing windows because I think somebody couldn't take it anymore and he volunteered to go become...
I think somebody volunteered him.
Voluntold him?
Yeah.
It's very possible. He's tall, so he has more reach than the rest of us does. He didn't have to have a ladder to reach the top of the windows, so that's probably why he got recruited voluntold. So that's a show that talks about doing astrophotography. This is sort of a teaser warm-up to it, and you spread the word about the program on different platforms. And so I'd use this as a warm-up.
Says, happy Friday, Kent.
Happy Friday, Brian. Thank you very much. So I use this as a warm-up for my Amazon Live program that comes on every day, and we haven't done it the last couple of days. Or I didn't do it Wednesday. I think Tyler did it yesterday. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah.
I was tied up working on some project. Well, we had a show on Wednesday for a vendor, and then it got moved back on Thursday. I had my day planned out. Couldn't do it. Tyler jumped in and took care of it for me. So we're going to talk about astrophotography.
Yeah, that was funny.
What was?
Got a child laughing in the background.
Yes, that must have been Tyler laughing. He's childlike. So have the Exos 100, which is a great easy entry-level mount that can also do some high-end stuff. We have lots of people who have done some tremendous astrophotography with astrophotography. Wade Prunty did a 100-hour exposure of I don't know which nebula it was. It was 100 hours of data captured over a series of short exposures that he stacked up and put together. But the Exos 100 is a real simple mount to use. I'll show you real quick how to do it with a camera. This is the DSLR CDA, the camera adapter, and it real simply allows you to hook a camera.
Yeah, cannot hear the sound effects.
Yeah,
at all.
it's a blessing, believe me. So I am going to simply use the 1/4 20 screw to attach this Canon 5D to the mount. This was designed by us. We couldn't find anything to recommend to people to attach a camera easily, so we made one. And that's what this is. And it simply allows you to balance the telescope, but I'm not going to try and balance it here, or the camera, and it just slides in there just like that, and it's going to balance about right there. I'm just going to go on down the road, not tying it too tight, and let's say I've framed up M42 in my zoom lens, and if I'm doing this for astrophotography and I use manual focus, get it in focus. If I'm using astrophotography, I am going to lock down with a piece of tape my zoom function so it can't turn inadvertently. Then my stars will look like the taken off in Star Wars. So it's an app. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Great.
So everybody knows what's going on. I have to load the sound effect into the board, and I haven't had time to do it yet. So once I load them in, it doesn't let me hear them in the headphones until I make them live. So I have to make them live once, and then I can turn on the monitor, which allows me to hear it. Otherwise, everybody that hears it's in the audience, and I can't hear it. So I have to turn it on at least once.
But I can't hear it, so I'm not going to laugh because it's not funny. All right, so base level, this can run on a Windows machine, Windows desktop, laptop, or tablet, or an iPad, or Android tablet. The pads have to have a screen of at least 7 inches for the app to work correctly. We will be coming out later this year with Explore Stars 2. Explore Stars is the app. Explore Stars 2 is going to be one that will work with an iPhone or Android phone as well. It's not out yet. So real simple. We simply hook up the wireless. So I'm hitting settings, Wi-Fi, tap PMC8, and there it's connected. I'm going to make sure, double tap here. See, watch this. If I double tap right there, it shows the apps running in the background. Right now, it shows Explore Stars running in the background, so I'm just going to flick it away. And now, back, launch Explore Stars. And to test it, I'm simply going to grab the virtual joystick and pull it. Can't grab it with my finger backwards. And there it goes. It's moving, so I can go through a 2-star alignment, real simple. Menu, settings, back to home because I hit the wrong button. Menu, settings, 2-star alignment, and so we can't see that star, so we'll go to that star. And okay, we can see that star. We're going to tell it to go to, off it's going to go, and we're going to center up the star as best we can in the eyepiece. You can use live view and zoom in on it to center it up as best you can.
Kent?
Yes.
Can I borrow this weekend?
Yeah, we can take one home this weekend.
No, this particular one you're messing with.
There's 4 of them lined up out there. Any one of them. And my iPad, I presume you want?
No, I got an iPad.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
So, I need to take the telescope too.
Yeah, we can set you up. So I'm going to move the scope the left and right to get set it up as best I can. Hit enter, and now I'm going to go to another star, and I'm going to execute a. It doesn't like me tapping upside down for some reason. There we go. There's one we can see off the Gemini's foot. We're going to tell it to go to, and now we're going to create what's called a transform, and that's a mathematical model of how far off your polar alignment is. The better your polar alignment, the better things are going to work. Polar alignment describes this axis right here, right, of the telescope being pointed at the North Celestial Pole, which is very, very close to Polaris. And so now, once we've got that done, and we get it centered up, left, right, up, and down, we have created a transform that's going to move the star both in RA and dec. Right here is the declination axis, and this is the right ascension. Around and around this right ascension axis reverses the rotation, or can negate the rotation of the Earth around its axis. So now I'm going to hit enter. We've created a model, and we can go to anything we want to go to now. So I'm going to park it real quick, and I'm going to switch telescopes, or switch to
a telescope.
To a telescope. And we're going to be using the ED80 today. Now, I'm just looking down and somebody grabbed an FCD 100 ED80. That's not the telescope I wanted to have. It's the one that shows up in the carousel here on Amazon Live in a few minutes. But it's a very small, light, good to use telescope. You can take some great pictures with it. And just got it done in the store with a guy. And, you know, he wants to start out with a really big, really bad, hefty telescope. And, you know, with an ED80, you're entering into the world through a small, light, wide field telescope, which is more forgiving of mistakes you make in tracking and pointing and everything else.
Yeah.
So I now have, you might want to readjust the camera for this, Paulie. So I now have,
it's fine.
The
we can see what
ED80
you're
on
doing
here.
On the mount, which is what you're talking about.
So this is the clutch right here. So I can loosen this and move this right as much as I want. So I'm turning this so you can see this. So I'm going to unscrew the tension collar just like this. And if I was doing visual photography, I would put on one extension tube. An extension tube.
It takes two for me.
If I was doing visual photography, we would do one extension tube. But if we're doing astrophotography, if we're going to do astrophotography, we're going to go to two. And some people, depending on their sensors and everything else, require three. So
my Sony A7 III generally takes two.
So there we go. And then this is going to screw on here. These are called 2.5-inch extension tubes. They fit on the 2.5-inch X focuser, and you want to take your time and not cross thread them. And so there, I felt the threads click past. So I'm going to screw this on here. And now I can attach my camera to this. If we had a field flattener, we could attach a field flattener to this. But right now, just get started using the camera I have and the gear I have with this mount. You know, field flattener is going to cost you a couple $100 maybe. So I'm going to take this Canon.
Yeah, field flattener helps a lot.
Field flattener provides, and people hear field flattener and they think it's going to make a perfectly flat field. It doesn't. It just corrects the field and gets it to more generally flat. This little thing right here is a T-ring, and it's a Canon thin one, and it just converts our camera into well, let's do it this way. This will make more sense.
Don't touch the sensor.
I don't have a T-ring. I forget. They didn't get my snoot. There's no snoot. So generally, okay, can't do this. But the good warm-up here for the live on Amazon Live, we'll go get the
snoot. My
snoot.
sound effect.
So yeah, this is a great sound effects moment. So we'll screw this back on here. Put a snoot in here. And I'm gonna go get one as soon as the show's over with. So join us on Amazon Live to see how this works. Live TV, and there we go. So the camera would go on the back, and now we're ready to start taking pictures using the IXOS 100 and a small light.
So that's the 100.
telescope.
We need the ED80 for Amazon.
This is the ED80.
Well, okay.
The IXOS 100.
What's the scope we were supposed to have?
Okay, this is an FCD 180. Same exact telescope, just slightly better glass. Yeah. The difference between the Essential Series glass and the FCD 100 glass is the FCD 100 glass allows more red, far red, and infrared light to pass through. And so if you have an astro modded camera or a dedicated astrophotography camera, that infrared light gets converted by the sensor into light channel that we can see. You can make it all red instead of infrared, and you can see it now, and it makes your pictures build up data faster as you go through your stacking procedure.
Richard Lighthill says one can mark the extension tubes and the scope's thread point so you can quickly add the tubes without cross-threading.
Yeah, you know, it's just, I always turn them backwards and feeling for the click. and never force threads, especially fine threads. This is 0.75 pitch, which is pretty darn fine threads, not crazy fine, but it's really easy to cross that if you just start going all putting a lot of elbow grease into it.
Space Time with Robert says, hello all, what a cute scope.
ED80 is a beautiful little
and
scope.
He's not talking about you, Ken.
I'm not a scope. I'm a something.
Tariq says, did you answer my question about a scope in 100 millimeter aperture, not more than 127 millimeter, and not less than 80 millimeter, please?
What was the question?
I'm looking for it.
Find the question, because I don't think you didn't read it off.
Do you have a scope that is 100 millimeter aperture, not 80, not 127?
We do not. We have a 102.
102 is close. That's 2 millimeters.
We have a 102 millimeter that's f7. 102.
And James Dugan says, if you don't hit the like button, you will get clouds all next week.
Well, we sold a guy to a telescope today in Springfield, Missouri, and he's going to have clouds all weekend. He's like, I know, I bought a telescope. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Join us over on Amazon Live, where I'll try to have all the parts I'm supposed to have to make this telescope work a little bit better than it did here on our social media blast. I'm Kit March from Explore Scientific. Thanks everybody for joining us. Go over to Amazon Live and check out the same thing, but more detail. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.